G'day everybody, Duckville here. It has been quite a while, but I am back, so get your mittens on your kittens, away we go. We're going to watch a game sent to me by my good friend, Mr. ALBabyKnight from Team Absolute Legends. He's going to be playing off. I have no idea what just happened with my mouse, by the way. He's going to be playing here. This is from the Antec Attack. I can't remember. I think they go in stages with that. I think this is like number 16 or something, just a couple of, like, last week or so. I've had a couple of weeks off, so my calendar and my internal clock is just ridiculously off, so please, I apologize for that. But yeah, this is going to be between ALBabyKnight, who's starting down here in the red. He's of course a Danish Protoss player on Team Absolute Legends, who recently acquired Isahara, so that of course means that in the team of Absolute Legends they've got I believe Death Angel, Hongen, and I think Maka is also there. If you've been missing out on a bit of Maka action, that's where he's been. But yeah, so they've got a few notable players there. In fact, Hongen actually just completed his GSL Code A qualifying attempt and was successful, so congratulations to AL and Hongen for that. They that is a really good feat, considering there were so many players there at the qualifiers who had their shot at making the big time. Of course, our Zergy player, who's sending his big floating balloons across the map, is a player from Team Light. It is Golden. He's a Korean Zerg player who is of course up here in the yellow. He's playing for Team Light, which is a team which, well, I suppose not surprisingly in a way, but surprisingly a lot of people haven't actually heard of before. They're a US-based team. They actually had a lot of prominence in Brood War, if I remember correctly. One of the big teams alongside some of those other ones like Media and some of the couple of the others that were also there. But a resurgence here as Team Light. They have come back, and we'll hopefully see them doing really well. Of course, some of their players have actually already done quite well in some events, so it's good to see Light doing a good job there. But yeah, so we got a Protoss versus Zerg on Antigua Shipyard. This map is really nice for both races in the way that you can get that third established quite quickly. You can head just straight up here as a Protoss. You want to try and wall this off. I don't know what the deal is, but some people like to wall off across this way. You can sort of put your gateways across like that, and it works almost perfectly. You get like a little space here if you need it, or you can block it off with a cannon or a pylon. But a lot of people also do it this way, so I suppose it's a bit of personal preference and how you like to wall it. Personally, I actually downvote this map, but I like to wall it off across the edge of the ramp just to sort of give a little bit of that old, as we always say, the Anakin high ground effect, where you're going to sit up the top and shooting down on your opponent. But starting here, ALBabyKnight does this a lot of the time. You'll see that he hasn't actually walled off the ramp at all, like literally at all. We've got Zerglings on the way, so he's going to be a little bit afraid of that. But of course, the thing that he's got here is that he's got a sentry out, he's got a zealot out already, and these guys will be fine to protect the base. All you need to do is throw down one force field. The Zerglings aren't going to get anywhere. The zealot can sit there and just power away at them. And in fact, he's got the 2 gas quite early there, and he's even going to go for a Twilight Council. So we're going to see him get up some some hasty tech here. We'll see if it is going to be a very fast sort of old school style Nazgul from Team Liquid Blink style attack, or whether he is going to go for some DTs. We will find out very soon. But for Golden, he's sitting up here, got the natural expansion done. We have 1 gas churning. It has had a little bit of gas taken out of it, so we could see him. He's already got the Zergling speed researching. He's now taken out a couple of the workers out of the gas, and in fact he's taken them all out. So he is going to continue to just get up that gas. Notice that he actually got 20 here. It's not actually too much. It's not as if it's a huge sort of consequence there. He can't get a Baneling nest off that, so it's not going to be anything like that, which would be very surprising to see. But it does mean that he can get the Zergling speed and then continue on with his mineral production. For ALBabyK, meanwhile, he's over here. He's gotten this Dark Shrine. This is a particular play of his that I really love to see. It's basically For those of you Protoss players who have done a bit of DT expansions in your Protoss versus Terran, this is a very similar build to that, in that you want to get your Dark Shrine up as quick as possible, because it takes about 15 years to complete, and then what you can do is get a few DTs out while you're expanding, and then control your position on the map with the DTs, because the Zerg of course has to get a few Overlords out, they need a few Spore Crawlers inside the main to get that defended as well, and ALBabyKnight has actually got this pylon here, and even defending it with a couple of Zealots as well. These Zerglings are going to have no hope of getting through there, so he's going to be able to warp in some of the DTs across here. We may even see another probe come out and attack against, so not attack, the probe's not going to attack, that would be a stupid idea. He's going to perhaps send another probe out to see if he can get an even closer pylon up. Something around this region would be quite nice as well, because of course if you can get the probe up to the high ground, you can warp the DTs up there. But no, he's going to get the DTs straight through right now. He's going to use one of them to check out the third expansion here. He's going to see that it's there, going to put some pressure on that and make sure that it dies, and well, if he can, of course, he might have to force a cancel, but the DT is now inside the natural expansion, targeting down the drones. You've got to be very careful when you do this play. You do need to make sure that your DTs aren't running around idly chasing queens, because they won't always catch the queens and they won't always do damage. But Light is doing a fantastic job of actually swarming the drones around the DTs, and they've only got a couple of kills here. Just having a look at how many they've got, 8, 9, 10. It may increase to a couple more if he gets some good targeting going. Gets it to 11, 12. So 12 is the big number that he's gotten to here. Now this is the great thing about this DT play, and wow, ALBabyKnight with some nice skills there, getting inside and killing off some of those larvae, which is just an impeccable little thing that you can pull off, and it really does hurt a Zerg. You sort of sit back and you think, well, it's only a few larvae. He's got this extra hatchery here, he's got queens, he's got all these sorts of things pumping out these larvae, but of course a Zerg player needs to really rely on when they drone and when they don't drone, so you have to be very careful with your expenditure of the larvae. So targeting down a couple of those, along with killing off those 12 workers that we saw, is quite a big thing. And as we can see here, that's delayed Golden just a little bit. Now he's just getting his infestation pit up. The Roach Warren has just started. And the third base, of course, did get killed off. So he doesn't actually have any sort of major attacking force at this point. Normally, when a Zerg likes to sort of sit on get those quick 3 bases, they want to look to have a few Roaches out by now and have a decent amount of them to be able to defend against any possible attacks here. And as we can see, ALBabyKnight is going to push across. He does not have any upgrades just yet, but +1 is about to complete. Blink is also on the way, and he is going to put some more pressure on Golden here, and we'll see if Golden is going to be able to defend it. A lot of you, you may notice this is a little bit like, it's kind of like the reverse version of doing what like a Stefano style attempts to do against Protoss, where you go in, you take down the third, and then you continually deny that from being taken. You deny it here, you deny it up the top, you deny the middle position if they go for that as well. That's a really big aim of this particular style, is that you get in there with those DTs and get some really good damage done. And it looks as if BBK behind all of this is getting an observer up. He's going to have that out to defend against any possible burrowed roaches or any other threats such as that. More gates are coming up, +2 to weapons is also on the way, and he has, the good thing is, oops, we just missed a little bit there, but only a couple of lings were taken down, but the good thing is you don't have to worry about cannons in your mineral lines or anything like that to protect against mutas, because the mutatech will be slowed down quite a bit. And of course, if he goes for roaches, then you don't need those cannons at the back either. So that's another really nice part of this particular play. You can probably tell from all my very particular ranting about this style that I really like it, and I do. I think it's a really solid style when you learn to control the DTs properly. A lot of people will send DTs in, they'll say, oh my god, I have to kill 9,000 drones, otherwise, you know, it's not actually worth it, and they'll spend all of their time targeting down these drones. The DTs will die and nothing will actually get done. So that's just one thing that you have to be very careful of. Now, ALBabyK is attempting to attack in here. He's got a little bit of a wall up. He's got some spine crawlers to deal with. Almost took down this Overlord. That guy is very happy. He's going to need to see a medic, though, because he is just about dead. More DTs and Zealots are warping in now. In fact, a couple of these Zealots were just trying to protect that proxy pylon. Couple of changelings just going to bounce around, maybe get inside and get some scouting done. We'll see how much he can find here, but BabyK is now just heading back. He's going to be very safe, make sure his third is ready to go. Probably going to put that down straight away, and there it is. So he's sitting in a very nice spot. We've now got a total of 6 gates up. We've got an extra robotics facility coming up, and also the robotics bay for the switch into the Colossus tech, which is one thing that BabyK does a lot, which I really like, is grabbing up multiple grabbing those multiple robotics facilities to get extra units pumping out as fast as you can. And you do need that to deal with these roaches. There are going to be a lot of roaches coming out of Golden very soon. As we can see, the third base has been established. He is getting a couple spine crawlers up for defense. There is a spire being constructed over here that's just building over here, doing its best to do an attempt of a spine crawler building. And some upgrades are also on the way. We've got +1 to ranged weapons here for the Zerg. The pathogen glands is just completed as well as Burrow. Very interesting to see that he's going to go for Burrow. He may try and use a little bit of Roach Micro to burrow some of these guys and get their health back as swiftly as he can. Meanwhile, for ALBabyKnight, he has got a few upgrades himself. He does already have the +2 to weapons, as we mentioned before. We don't have any extra upgrades researching just at the moment, no, but instead of that, what we do have is double Colossus production. So that's really going to help him out in dealing with the ground forces. Of course, you can do a little bit of damage to these roaches when they're all grouped up, and then you can, of course, use the Colossus to deal with those other ranged assailants, such as the Hydras, and of course you can use that to deal with those infestors in a particular way as well. So ALBabyK is doing a really nice job of just keeping the Zerg outside of his base. As you can see, the roaches and everything here have only got a little bit of scouting done. He doesn't actually know what precise tech switch is going on. He still hasn't seen that there is a double robo along with the bay as well to get those Colossus coming. He does know that the third base is here, but he's going to have a lot of trouble attacking into this. Of course, ALBabyKnight has reduced the surface area of these cannons so that no Zerglings will be able to take shots at this, apart from maybe just back here. And of course, getting up these extra gateways really helps with his production. So, meanwhile, for ALBabyKnight, he's actually got the reverse. He's had some good vision. He's seen that the hive is done, knows that the threat of broodlords is certainly a possibility, or at least something coming up. And now for the spire for Golden is already morphing over there. He's doing his best impression of ducking on the ground, and soon we'll probably see him switch into that broodlord tech and get suddenly become a little bit more scary than he is right now. So just waiting to see how ALBabyK approaches this. He's got to be very careful. He doesn't want to get all of these. There is quite a lot of stalkers here, as you can see on the map. We've currently got a total of 33 stalkers. You don't want to get all of them fungal growths, so he's got to be very careful with how he approaches this. He's just going to march up that ramp very bravely, putting down some good force fields here, not actually capturing too much. What I would have loved to see was some across here to block out those drones from escaping, but he does push up the ramp anyway. Spine crawlers go down, a few infestors went down in the battle as well, and now he's taken down this third hatchery, and this is what I'm talking about, denying that third base for the Zerg as much as he can. But here come the Stingrays. The Broodlords have now jumped into the fight. However, they are not in a very protected position here, and fungal growths go down all over those stalkers, so they will be taking quite a lot of damage, but he is able to jump underneath and do as much damage as he can, deal out a few transfusions from the Queens, try and save the Broodlords, but I don't think it's going to be enough here. The Colossi standing at the back, towering over all of the other units, beaming down those rays of death, dealing with those roaches quite easily with their +2 to weapons, and GG from GoldenLighT. So a really nice opening there from ALBabyK, just bringing the DTs into the fray and doing a lot of damage with them, getting, what was it? It was like 12 drone kills in total, and just forcing Golden on the back foot there, making sure that he was sort of sitting back. As you can see, we had a very interesting saturation of drones there, and that really forced Golden to be in such a sort of that back foot position where you have to worry about taking your third, where normally a Protoss is the one that's doing that. So this is a best of 3. We're going to go into the next game, which is on Daybreak. Please follow me there, and of course make sure you leave your feedback on the cast and all that sort of stuff, and go and have a chat to the guys on Twitter. I've posted the Twitter for both of these guys at the start, so go say hello to them, and thank you for these cool games. I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.